Do you ever feel like you're juggling a million versions of yourself and still dropping the ball? Like you're switching hats all day, professional, partner, parent, friend, and no one really sees what it takes to just be you? Yeah, me too. Welcome to Hat Rack with Hannah. I'm Hannah, therapist, entrepreneur, author, podcast host, and also a mom, partner, daughter, friend, basically a professional hat wearer. I created this space where you don't have to minimize what you're carrying or rush past it. Because the truth is, you can have big dreams and feel overwhelmed by the roles it takes to hold them. Both get to exist. Here we slow it down, call it what it is, take some hats off, and figure out what actually belongs in your rack. So take a deep breath. You can set something down here, and let's get into it. Hi, welcome to Hat Rack with Hannah, and this is our guest today, Lisa. Lisa is a holistic interior designer, feng shui master teacher, and creator of the intuitive home method. With over 20 years of experience, she's transformed homes, businesses, and even luxury private aircraft interiors. That's so cool. Known for her grounded and practical approach, Lisa blends thoughtful design with feng shui and energy work to create environments that truly support how people live. Her work focuses on helping clients feel more calm and supported in their homes, so their space enhances their health, momentum, and overall well-being. Lisa works with clients worldwide, hosts the Feng Shui Living podcast, and authored the book Aligned at Home, a book on creating deeply aligned, high vibe homes. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Hannah. I'm so excited to be here and chat with you.
Yes. Well, in this month on the pod on Hat Rack for Hannah, we're really talking about this concept of the split. And I feel like oftentimes we can feel really trapped in our home and not grounded or safe or secure or the things that we need to feel in a space. So I'm really excited to talk with you on like how we can kind of get a fresh lens with our home and really actually have our home serve us and our
Mm,
energy and our capacity. So
oh, I
tell
can't
me a
wait.
little bit more about how we can do that.
I mean, first things first, we need to remember that our homes, it's not just a box, right? It's this beautiful space that's telling us who we are, what's important in our lives, as well as telling us who to be tomorrow.
Yeah.
And when you can remember that, you can pick apart those things in your home. And I'm not telling anyone to judge or get down on themselves if they have clutter or anything, but just open your eyes and maybe look with a different set of lenses. Is your space supporting you or is it not supporting you?
I love that. And one thing I tell my clients often, specifically clients who are struggling with anxiety, depression, PTSD, honestly, most mental health diagnoses is oftentimes our environment is a direct reflection of what's going on in your head or going on for you. And sometimes that doesn't always feel good.
Oh gosh, no. I mean, our homes mirror what's happening in our lives and what how we're feeling. And I personally went through this, when I thought I had my dream job of designing these private jets. I worked for a company and I traveled the world and met outrageous people and used outrageous materials and finishes and just thought I was living my dream life. But fast forward, and after the demand and the high pressure of these different projects, I found myself just hitting burnout. I was severely anxious, depressed, overwhelmed. I would have a daily panic attack.
Oh,
I remember hiding in this closet at our business. It was our design closet where we kept all these luxurious samples, and I'd be hiding in there having a panic attack, right? So I went through the ugly part. So now I've experienced that, and now I've come out on the other side. And I look back in my home at the time. Oh gosh, it was photo shoot ready, right? Because
okay.
everybody expected it to be like a designer house and so beautiful, but it wasn't supporting me. And knowing what I know now, I realized I didn't have the right colors, the right patterns, the right textures, the right messaging in my home to support me and say, you're safe. It's okay.
All right.
Take a breath.
Yeah. Well, I love Thank you so much for sharing that example because I really love that explanation. Oftentimes, our viewers feel that split and feel the, oh my God, I'm juggling so much. And then we're having panic attacks in closets, right? And we're not able to hold all the things. And so I love that you pivoted your life to serve you. Really
I
hard
mean, it wasn't
decision to
easy.
make. No, oh
There,
no.
there was a there was a several years of a lot of shame because I couldn't cut it. That took a lot of work to get through that.
Yeah. No, and it
Yeah.
is really hard work, but it's sometimes, I feel like sometimes we can make it seem like, oh, just do this, right? And
Mhm.
no, it's years of work to get where we want to be sometimes, and
Is
that's
it ever
okay.
done though?
Absolutely not, says the biased therapist, right? But no, like we're always continuing to work on ourselves, and there's always going to be a new thing that comes up, right? But what
Right.
did you do to really transform your space? And like you said something about color. And I've
Mm.
never heard how that piece and like how it influences us. Like, tell me more about this.
Oh my gosh. So, I started my journey into this work. I had left that job and we had moved, relocated. I was starting a residential design business. And as I'm doing this, we're setting up this new home in a new city. And I'm thinking, how can I create a space that feels more supportive to my body?
Hmm.
And at the same time, actually, I was doing Reiki training
Oh,
because I
fun.
had had so many sessions done on myself. I'm like, this is amazing. And at the same time, I had this light bulb moment of there's energy in my body. There's got to be energy in my environment. So I
Yep.
didn't know where I was going with this or what was happening. But fast forward, I started studying holistic design, an approach to just looking at your environment holistically, not just making it pretty. I mean, making it pretty is fun, but
Of
there's
course.
so much more we can do. And then I started studying feng shui back in 2011. And I think that one of the easiest ways to look at your space is just in terms of color, right?
Yeah.
Think about, we know warm colors lift our energy and cool colors calm us down, but it goes so much deeper than that. I actually have a really fun free class I do kind of occasionally. I
Okay.
just announce it on my newsletter once in a while, and it's called Color Mastery. And we dive into the psychological, the physiological effects of color. We dive into the energetic effects of color because it's mind-boggling. Like I think back to when I was stressed and anxious and wasn't sleeping at night,
Yeah.
getting up to go to my job and panicking. I was in such a bad space, but I look back, I had this red headboard. It was a beautiful fabric. I made the headboard myself. I was very proud of it. But of course, I wasn't sleeping. Red prevents our body from calming down. It keeps our energy lifted. It keeps us on alert, like aware, right?
Mhm.
What's going on? I need to keep your blood pressure will literally raise, right?
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, of course I wasn't sleeping, right? In bedrooms, we need peaceful, calming colors. In the feng shui world, we talk about yin and yang, and something that's yin is quiet and still, like a spa. And then something that's yang is very active, fiery, bright red fuchsia, loud music, right? In bedrooms, we need that peace. We need
Yeah.
that yin, that quiet, that stillness, the pastel, soft colors, pale greens, pale blues, earth tones. That's going to help us sleep. So just color alone is kind of mind-boggling. It can
Yeah.
really support you.
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I wonder if our listeners looked at this through that lens and looked at like where their colors are impacting them. For example, I think of like sterile office spaces. Doubt that is helping or serving anyone, right?
Mhm.
Now maybe my therapeutic office might because we're very zen in here, but if people are really more aware on even just like that colors can impact their
Mhm.
energy, we can help them
Mhm.
shift.
I always say that everyone and every home can benefit. This is my opinion, but from more earth elements. So in feng shui, we have a five element system: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. And the red fuchsia colors are really fiery, right? The opposite of that is an earth element. So the beige, the tan, the brown, chocolates, big chunky textures, a faux fur throw that you can wrap over your shoulders, right? It just feels grounding and stable. and
Comforting.
comforting. And I always say, bring in you don't have to repaint your room, right? It's not what I'm saying. You don't have to remodel. Most of my clients, I tell them to shop their home, right? You
Okay.
have this stuff somewhere. Bring in even a small piece, right? So you can see it off in the distance, off through your peripheral vision, right? In the winter months, I get the winter blahs. So something I do is I always keep a bright fuchsia wrap over my chair, and like about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the blahs start setting in. I'm kind of tired and feeling
Yeah,
the February effects. I'll just drape it over my shoulders. So I just see it out of my peripheral vision and it just lifts my energy just enough.
I
So
love
just like
that.
little touches.
Yeah. One, two, so like things like that for sure. What other affordable tips can we give listeners around just like how to transform their personal spaces, whether that be at home or at the office? I
Oh
love
my
the
God.
vibrant color touch specifically for afternoon lifts. Huge.
Yes, yes. Think of textures. Textures are so nice, whether it's a variety of textures, something smooth, something chunky and or tightly woven, right? Think of textures, think of patterns.
Yeah,
A pattern that might be like a triangular pattern, like the wallpaper behind me, is a fire element. That's going to keep your energy lifted. Something that's more square or rectangular is going to be grounding. And then also, I love to look at, I'm an art lover. I'm
okay.
not an artist, but I love to enjoy it. And look at your artwork. Look at the artwork. Look at even your photographs. What is it saying? What are the messages? I had a client a while back who her husband had started his own business in construction, and he was very, very busy and just never home. And she was
Okay.
really struggling with it. She's like, he's never around. We never have time to connect. I always feel alone. And so we went in her master bedroom and she had this beautiful painting on the wall. And it was beautiful and it worked beautifully. It looked beautiful, but it was a woman standing there by herself. So the first thing she would see when she'd wake up every morning was this symbolism that's telling her,
She's
this
alone.
is your life. You're all alone. So
Right.
we swapped that out with a beautiful wedding photo of them. So just
I love
being
that.
mindful of your art, what it's saying back to you, what it's announcing to the world. And art can be many things. It doesn't have to be a painting. It can be the cool display of hats behind you, or your pottery collection, or
Right.
a collection of teacups, whatever that is to you.
I love how comforting and small that is, though, that that could just change a mood, right? Like these are small things that make a huge difference.
Right?
Um, what was it? For Mother's Day, my daughter made me, and by my daughter, daycare, made me, it's like a little flower. I actually have it on my desk. I'm looking at it right now.
Mm.
And it has her face in it, and it's like
Okay.
this little like vase thing. It's but I've never had any pictures of any of my family in my office or
Okay.
anything that she's made me. And I brought it in and it's been helping me really center between transitional moments. Like I see her, I'm like, this is adorable. And then I'm like, okay, is she safe? I'll check the daycare app more often, right? And it's just, I've noticed a significant difference in me feeling more grounded ever since bringing
Wow.
her here.
I love that. Sometimes it's those little visual cues that we can add into our space that's like, you're okay. Like, or just a
Right.
moment of let's reset. Like for me, I love aromatherapy. That's my reset. So if I get off a
Yep.
call or I'm trying to transition from one thing to the next, I'm like misting my office
Oh
with
yeah. Oh yeah.
aromatherapy, right? It's just that's what does it for me. So some people might be going on a walk outside for 5 minutes or I don't know, adjusting the blinds, but those like little moments to reset are really powerful.
Oh, they're so important. I have an aromatherapy candle lit right now, and between clients, I spray my office with clearing sprays that smell really good to me. So I
Nice.
totally hear that. And like, what are some other tips for transitions? Last month, we had a listener who was really struggling because they were only in their space. Like they worked in their space, they parented in their space, like they could not, like they were like stuck in their space, right? And one of our biggest tips that we gave was like get out of your space, find that solution, and then also work on your transition moments and how you like kind of step into moments differently. So what are some things that you would put in your entry spaces in your home or in your car to help with transitional pieces?
So
I love
I guess I kind
aromatherapy.
of learned a big lesson during COVID. A lot of people
Okay.
call me and they're like, I'm not focusing. I can't work from home. And I'm like, tell me about your workspace. And they're working at the coffee table next to their kid color. I'm like, okay, let's set up some plans here.
Boundaries.
Um, yes, I think a lot of these things you mentioned, it's the transition, kind of like we were talking about, but also creating a routine. So I might use my aromatherapy spritz. It's rinsing me out from my last client, but it's also setting me up for the next. So
Yep.
if you're struggling with that work life balance, even if you work in the same space, I would suggest setting up a routine. So for me, my office is in my home, the second story of our home, in a guest bedroom. And I took it over and when I go up there, I walk in and I turn on the lights, I close the door, I light my candle, I open the blinds, and then I'll go and sit down in my chair, fix my fuchsia throw, and then sit down in my chair, right? And then
Yep.
at the end of the day, I adjust my throw, close the blinds, blow out the candle, turn off the light, close the door. And I do it in exact reverse. And when you're doing that, it cues your body.
Yep.
Even now, I start walking up the stairs and I go into work mode.
Yeah.
I start heading out the door after I've done that routine, and it just makes moving into that.
Space different.
Yes, and
Totally.
it's mind-boggling. And some people might be like, "Oh, that doesn't work," but if you try it, it starts building. It's like building a
Right.
muscle, and it
Yep.
makes it so much easier because I am kind of a workaholic and I love what I do and I'd work
Yeah.
all day every day if I could. But I
Yeah.
need to have a life outside. So I think sometimes those transitions and those routines can be really
Yeah.
key.
I love that. And one thing we often talk about too is just like making sure we can be 100% present in
Mhm.
whatever we're doing versus like, okay, I'm sitting here with my kids at the table and I'm thinking about work, or I'm at work and I'm thinking about this, right? So those transitional routines are so important. And I love that you gave us an
Mhm.
example of yours.
Well,
That's
especially at
amazing.
home, right? Because it's
Oh,
so easy to be like, I'm just gonna run and do one more email. But something else I do is I'm an aromatherapy geek, but the scents I use in my office, I don't use in the regular part of the home.
I love that.
So
Okay.
like I'm a lavender or lavender peppermint in my office, in my home. I'm very citrusy,
Okay.
but also
We
helps
switch it up a
shift
little. Yeah.
it.
Okay. I'm a huge scent person too, so I love that.
Mhm. What's your
One
favorite scent? I'm curious.
citrusy, lemon.
Ooh.
Lemon is
Mhm.
like eating lemon, smelling lemon, all about it. But it's funny because in my office, I don't do citrus.
Okay.
I hate lavenders, but I always have lavenders or I have eucalyptus,
Mm.
um, sage, like just more
Mm.
grounding things. Like right
Yeah.
now I have aromatherapy. Which one do I have going? Lakeside Morning, crisp air,
Ooh.
driftwood, and green apple.
Sounds delightful.
That one is a little more citrusy actually, but very grounding things in the office. And at home, it's just bright and citrus,
I love
energizing.
that. I love
Yeah.
that. Oh.
One, so plants and natural materials. Talk to me about how they support us, because we were talking about that before recording.
Mm.
And I am not a plant girly. I
That's
have two
okay.
plants in my office. They're not dead yet. This is the longest I've gone. It's been maybe 4 months, but they're not dead. And that's what we have right now. But I have a colleague who has like, I swear she has like 7 plants in there in a tree, and that's her deal.
Yeah. Yeah. So plants in the five element system connect to the wood element. Okay, so plants, flowers, wood, the trees out in the forest, shrubbery, any living thing growing, right?
Yeah.
And it connects to the season of spring, which we're in. And it brings an energy of like renewal and rejuvenation and moving forward and taking that next step and healing and all those great kind of springtime sensations,
Yeah.
right? And energy. And so it's really powerful to reset. Um, I actually have my green vases I brought in for spring just to bring in a little green. So
Mm,
it doesn't even have to be flowers or plants. You can bring in the color green,
okay.
um, or any artwork. So if you don't love plants, that's okay. You don't have to, I'm not going to force anyone to bring plants in. You have two options, really. You can bring, well, three. You can bring in some green. You can bring in um, artwork showing a watercolor of some flowers or an acrylic painting of the woods, right? Whatever works for you. Um, and then also silk flowers. So there is big chatter about fake flowers in the feng shui world. And I work with a lot of clients who travel a lot on business or just for fun, who have
Yeah.
cats, who just don't like caring for plants. And so some people believe that if you bring in fake flowers, you're bringing in fake energy. I don't believe that because the silk flowers that are available today are not like grandma's dusty flowers that were in
No.
her bathroom. They're really beautiful. So my whole thing is if you love it and you think it's really beautiful and you look at that faux floral arrangement and it lifts your energy, then gosh, do that. Take it on. I'm not going to force anyone to get real plants. So bring in some fake plants.
Okay.
I will say that too many plants can sometimes cause a bit of an energy of frustration.
Oh, okay.
So the wood element, while it's about growth and renewal, it's higher energy, not quite like a fire element like red and fuchsia, but it's up there. So
Okay.
interesting, back in the day when I was all anxious and stressed out and not sleeping, I had a red headboard and I had 5 million plants in my bedroom.
Interesting.
I am very sensitive. I don't have any plants in my bedroom now.
Okay.
But in most rooms, I suggest, I mean, you can experiment if you like a plant in your bedroom, but in most public spaces, I say no more than three. I
Okay.
think three is a good number to stick to. Any more, it can kind of feel like a little too much for some people.
It's interesting that you're talking about the reverse effect. I didn't even think about that. I kind of just was thinking like abundance. It makes total
Yeah.
sense. In our office, we have a huge flower display. It covers the entire wall, like between two offices.
Wow.
It is my favorite thing in all of life. We just had it redone, and this
Mm.
artist is just like phenomenal.
Oh, it's a
Um,
mural.
it's a huge mural. There, it's in the middle is a paw print, and for Lola and me therapy, and then it's this huge floral. And the second
Mm,
we changed it, every single person who entered our office knew about it and like commented on it and felt differently and like made very interesting comments. It's just it
that's
brings
so great.
energy, it brings light. It's also like
Right?
hot pink. It's very spring.
Ooh.
So yeah,
Rejuvenation and like
exactly.
a reset and
Yeah.
joy. And I love that.
It's and when you come into a therapy office, right? Like we're here to do hard work. And so sometimes we do need that like
Little
rejuvenation
reset.
before we
Yeah, I love that.
Oh
So
yeah.
think about your clients who are leaving and they're walking past that. It's a moment to like reset
Right.
and like lift their energy just enough.
I love that.
Love that.
Never thought of it this way though.
Now I got
It's
to see a
fun
photo
lens
of
to look
this
through.
place.
Oh, I will definitely send it to you. Absolutely. Well, and tell me too, author, tell me about your book.
So I
Is this
published
it
my
behind
first,
you?
yeah, I have a copy.
Ah, yay.
It's called
There we go.
Aligned at Home.
Okay.
And I I always kind of thought I wanted to write a book, but then I don't know, I just put it off.
Yep.
Like, who
Oh, I
wants
get
to
it.
listen to me? What kind of story do I have? But then I started and I knew I wanted to write this book because I've read a lot of feng shui books. I mean, I started my training back in 2011. I read a bunch of books. I have 4 different certifications in this work. I've studied different styles. I've trained different styles. And some of the books out there, it's I swear they're trying to make it confusing.
Oh, gosh. Well, yeah.
It can feel like a lot. And I remember reading one book and thinking, "Oh, this is interesting." And then reading another book and I'm like, "Well, this says something different from the last book. How do I work with that?" So there are just like yoga or whatever, there's different schools or sects of feng shui, different styles or approaches. The goal is always the same, to bring harmony and alignment to your space through your environment, arranging your things and colors and everything.
Right.
But I wanted to write this book because I think there are so many easy things we can do, and you don't need a certification to make adjustments to your home. You can make small adjustments and have huge outcomes. So, the first part of the book is kind of memoir-ish, like maybe the first three chapters, where I share my ugly part of my story and how I lived it, and I had to understand my space and how I can, I was doing all the things. I was doing the therapy, I was doing the yoga, doing the meditation, altered my diet, everything you could think of. And for me, it wasn't until I added that environmental approach.
Right.
So, yeah, and then the rest of the book is just um, really digestible content. I share about some of those important spaces, where to go, where to look at first, what to do first, what adjustments to make.
Okay.
I share a
You're
little
really breaking it
history.
down.
Yeah, and I also just want people to, like I said at the beginning, view their home with a little different lens. The lens that you are powerful, you can make shifts in your environment, and those shifts and those small little shifts can have huge impact into your life.
Well, and I just love how it's so digestible because I often feel when we're getting into those books or when I see one of those books, right, it's like feng shui. Okay. I don't know what that is. I know we're supposed to, be balanced, but it's one of those things that it's like, okay, I don't understand it, so I'm not going to pick it up even. So I
Yeah.
just love that your approach is different than that and also like breaks it down and where to start. Because
Mhm.
oftentimes it's like they also like I don't want to stereotype books or like kinds of books, but it's like a um you already know what this is, so we're not going to tell you the starting point. You're just going to get into it. But I
Mhm.
love that you have some more of like starting points and also give your story. That's huge.
Yeah.
It's a
Plus,
motivator, right?
yeah. Plus, I think my approach is probably different than most because I've been an interior designer for 25 years, right? So I've
Right.
been in a lot of people's homes. There's a lot of really great stories in the book too, which it was so fun to because I'm writing because I've just had some really interesting experiences with clients, going through, working through things, and I'm writing their stories out. And then as I'm doing that, other stories would come out. I'd
Well, I'm
remember
sure.
them, right?
Yeah.
And so it's feng shui, but in a way we can live with it because
Right.
I still want my house to be pretty and make me feel good
Absolutely.
and function well, right? I don't want some bizarre cure somewhere weird, right? Like it
Yeah.
has to work for how I live in my home with my family and how we approach living life. And I think that's important to me.
It's very important. And I love that this is just to me, this is a different lens. This is a different perspective. Um, this is just so cool. I'm so excited
It's
about
more of exploring your space too, because I do give you a few little experiments to do in your home
it. Ooh.
or journaling prompts, because sometimes feng shui books might be like, place this here, add this there, whatever, add a
Yeah.
coin and turn it upside down and under three pillows. I'm being silly, but there
But I get what
can
you're
be some
saying.
specific
Yeah.
cures that can feel a little out there, and I try to kind of rein it in so it feels really digestible.
Okay.
I think that brings more energy, more
Yeah.
intention, and alignment to it all. When you feel it in your body, yes, this is right. This is something I can do.
I want to shift us real quick because I would love to hear your favorite client story.
Hmm. Well, I'll tell you about the most impactful because I think you'll
Okay.
appreciate it. This, gosh, I was going through this phase where there was the side of me, the traditional designer, thinking, is this too woo? Is this weird? Am I meant to do this? And then the other side of me, I'd been certified in this work, implementing it with some of my clients. And I'm like, I don't know. Okay. So this woman calls me and needed a consultation. So I show up, and she was live near me. And so I have all my samples in my bag. I didn't know what I was in for. Walk up to the house just like a normal day. And she greeted me normal. We walked through the house, did a walkthrough, and then we sit down at the dining table to kind of get into the nuts and bolts of what she needed. She sits across from me at the dining table and looks me in the eyes and says, Lisa, I'm dying. I need your help setting up my space so that my husband and my children can go on living once I'm gone.
Whew.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It took me a minute to collect myself. I think my job might have
Yeah.
been hanging open. I just, was not at all expecting that.
Yeah, no.
And I drove home with tears in my eyes, thinking, wow, we got put together. I'm obviously meant to do this work for her, and I know I can help her.
Hmm.
What a great connection match. Like, how magical is this?
Yeah.
Um, so she had been fighting cancer for many years and was just done with treatments and things. Um, but she was adamant she wanted her home set up so that her kids and her husband could go on, live their lives. And honestly, the home did need a little updating. She'd been sick for a long time. Who wants to,
Yeah. We're
work
not
on your
doing home
homes,
projects. Yeah, when we're
right?
managing our basic needs. Absolutely.
Yes. So we went in and we got some new carpet, we got some new furniture, things like that. But we did this with feng shui in mind. So we brought in a lot of earth for grounding and comfort and stability during this difficult time. We did bring in some wood element so that her family, her kids can go on and we worked on their kids' rooms a little bit to bring in more wood element for renewal and everything. We brought in some water element for a sense of like cozy, just like let go a little bit. And then we brought in some artwork that was healing, and we did a very special collage wall because
Okay.
before she got sick, they went hiking all the time and did all these really fun trips together as a family. And so we did a whole collage wall, and they enjoyed it. And she was still around for 2 years.
Oh,
So they got
wow.
to enjoy this space, this refreshed space with this beautiful collage wall. And then after she was gone, they could still honor their mother, who they really, loved and enjoyed all those memories with.
That's
So,
beautiful.
I mean, it was a,
Oh, I bet that was one of the harder ones for sure.
it was, but I also like that was affirmation. I meant to do this
Yeah.
work, and it gave me something in me that I maybe it's just confidence or just belief that
Right.
I meant to do this. So, yeah, it was a beautiful experience, and I'll always remember that.
That is beautiful. And it's just, that's so incredible that that's what she wanted to provide her family too.
I
And like
know.
that she was really concerned and, ready to make moves to her space to have it feel more inviting and grounding for them.
Hmm.
That's so
Yeah, she
important.
really wanted them to feel supported and
Yeah.
comforted. We put big chunky throws on the sofa. So if they're having a rough time, they can curl up and just like breathe or
Yeah.
grab a pillow and squeeze it, right?
Yeah. That's
Hmm.
beautiful. I love that story. Something you said in there, I would love your hot take on, especially as a designer. Water elements. We see
Mm.
all these people just are like, I'm gonna get a fountain and talk to me about the water element and how we can do this in realistic ways and like have that as a part of our home and our offices, even like our space. I've always
Mm.
thought of like throwing a fountain in the waiting room. And then I'm like, I have dogs in here, I have kids in here sometimes. My daughter found a fountain at a barbecue this past weekend. It became her own personal play area.
I
There was
bet.
no water in it when it was done. And then she also tried to get goldfish to swim down it. So like,
Oh.
we had a lot of apologies, but
That's really funny.
it was
So
super cute.
the water element, and it doesn't mean a big fountain, right? The water element can be any type of water, so a fountain, even like a tabletop fountain, but also any type of watery inspiration. So the
Okay.
color blue, the color black, as well as any type of wavy pattern. Maybe if you have a throw pillow with a wavy pattern or a comforter with a wavy pattern for your bedroom would be great. Um, and then any artwork depicting a beautiful lake or a favorite vacation beach,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Um, So this connects to the season of winter, and it's all very fluid and easygoing. And I love water in a bedroom where you just want to relax and maybe, I don't know, or a creative space is great for
Yeah,
with a lot of excess water. Um, we do want to be mindful though and bring some sort of sense of balance. We want the other elements present, right? Because at too much water in some spaces just leaves us feeling kind of loosey goosey, a little too
we're
free
not getting
flowing.
things done.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like think about the season of winter. I don't know about you, but I like to curl up on the sofa with a cup of tea and my blanket and watch a movie, and I'm not getting
Absolutely.
up to go work out. I'm not
Nope.
getting up to get all the things done I want to do. And that's natural that time of year.
Yeah.
But we need harmony with how we're bringing in water. But it is great. It's great for fluidity, intuition. If you're feeling a little too stuck in life, sometimes water can feel really nice.
Okay.
And PS, if you have a fountain, you always want the fountain flowing towards the centermost area of your home or your building. So you
Tell
don't
me
want the
more about
water
that.
flowing away
Why is that?
because then the energy is going away from the home, not to it. Because
Okay.
also water in feng shui connects to wealth.
Okay.
So if you want to bring some more financial abundance into your home, bring some
Get
water
that
in.
water running. We need some water running in all of our spaces. That's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
I also see here that we're going to be able to provide listeners with a fun promo from you and free access to your Aligned at Home Collective membership. Talk to me more about what that is and what
Mhm.
listeners can kind of get from that.
So after I wrote the book, I had made great connections, all kinds of new clients and new podcast listeners and everything. And I wanted to create something. Years ago, I had a membership group, but it got to a point where it was done. And so then I felt refreshed and with the book out, I'm like, let's do it again. And so I actually created a workbook to accompany the book. So there's spaces for journaling and prompts and working through things, listing things. And so with the Aligned to Home membership, it's my monthly membership group. You get a digital copy of the workbook and or you can order a printed copy too, but it's a monthly call. And we have a different topic every month. Here's the thing. My goal with this membership group, I don't know about you, but I've joined some membership groups recently and they're great, right? But I'm busy. I don't have time for a Telegram chat, a Zoom call every week, 3 text messages, an email, and a
Right.
voice note, right? I don't have that.
Completely.
So my
Right.
goal with this is literally I'm asking women to devote 1 hour a month to their home. Come in your
Okay.
PJs, but show up, take that time for you to sit, to be with this amazing community of women from all over. They're fascinating. And we have a different topic. And it might be, we might get into the 5 elements. I have one I'm preparing. It's all about rocks and crystals to place into your home and where to place
Fun.
them and fun things like that. So we have a different topic every month, digestible stuff that you can implement and experiment with. And
Yeah.
that's really fun.
So
So yeah,
fun.
you
Okay.
get a free 30 days. So if you follow the link, it does require you to sign up. You can cancel it anytime.
Okay.
So no commitment, just month by month if you want, or pop into 1 month and then if you like the topic for another month. And the other fun thing is with the membership, you get access to all the previous month's recordings.
Oh,
You
cool.
can kind of
Okay.
binge if you want to go crazy.
Well, and two, that gives a really good way to kind of figure out, like, okay, is this for me? Does this feel good? So I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
very excited. So, good group of women.
That sounds so nice. And I love your approach of how like digestible everything feels. Like we have so much content being thrown at us every single second of every single day. So to
Yeah.
have it just be here's things you can do, but also realistic things, not like go spend $5,000 on whatever, right? Like small little things that can make differences is so important.
I think we need to remember it's sometimes those small things that make the biggest impact. It isn't the
Absolutely.
remodeling, it's simply bringing a couple throw pillows in a certain color into your room that can shift it. One of my teachers always said, that feng shui is kind of like those old TV antennas, if it's like ants on the screen, and then if you adjust it just the tiniest bit, the entire picture comes clear.
Mm.
And that's really it can feel sometimes a little woo or a little out there, but it's also just really grounded. I mean,
Yeah,
we know that color affects our nervous system.
right.
We know that lighting affects our mood. I need sunlight or I get cranky, right? We
Yeah,
know that our furniture arrangement influences how we connect with other people. I mean, so if you can think about that, man, just little things, and it doesn't have to be so hard.
no. Well, and it's a lot of people hear interior design and they're like, I can't afford that or I can't do that. And you can, and it can
Mhm.
support you. And I love what you said earlier, like shop your home.
Heck yeah. Oh
I
my
love
gosh, the
that.
woman who was really ill, we had this beautiful landscape print that she had in a closet, beautifully framed, still in the wrapping from the framer. She just never hung it up. And I'm
You're
just
like,
like,
girl, get
oh,
us on the wall.
right, get this on the wall. This is fantastic. Get it up. So shop your home, get together with some friends and swap some things, go to a yard sale. I'm a big believer that one person's trash is another person's treasure. Refinish a table or have some
Yeah,
fun, like make it yours. Because I really do believe that this is a future of design.
yeah,
I come from a very traditional design approach, but I think younger people, it's getting more and more important to understand how those items in their home are going to affect them, if it's going to support them in life, where they're coming from, what kind of chemicals are in the material,
right,
all that. And it's shifting. The interior design world is shifting, and I don't think it's going to be just how it was. Make it pretty. I
right.
literally had clients that were like, just make sure my plane looks better than my brother's.
You're like, okay.
Oh gosh.
When we
So,
before we even started recording, we were talking about like my home is so lived in. It is my daughter's home. That's just what it is. Her stuff is everywhere, but like we have specific spots for things too when we eventually put things there. But
yeah.
there's oftentimes like I just have to make this look good instead of I need to make this work for my life
hmm
approach. And
hmm
so it's just so important to normalize. We can also live in our space and have it serve us too.
Yeah, homes are meant to be lived in, not just to be a
Right.
showpiece. Live in it. If you do struggle with clutter or overwhelm, put together some systems, right? And do the clutter clearing, do the organizing when you can. But a key part of that is figuring how you can stay the course. So
Right.
I have a it's called the intuitive home method. It's an approach I take clients on a 30-day journey, right? And we dive into releasing things and then the feng shui layout of the space. And then the last part is stay the course. Well, how are you going to keep this going? What
Right.
monthly check-ins, or how is it going to work for you and your family to check in so you can keep it going?
Right. And have it be something that's realistic and that we can all do
Right.
together.
Right, because nobody wants to clutter clear their entire home once a year.
No. And well, and
If you can,
we're in spring, right? And a lot of people are doing the whole spring cleaning. I'm guilty of that. I just gutted my garage this past weekend, right? But it's not fun. And when we have to do those things like once a year, it is way worse than if we just upkeep it.
and plus then the energy flows, right? When we're trying to get new energy into our home, right? New opportunities, financial abundance, new love interest, new career, whatever, when you're trying to get it in, if there's no place for it to land,
Right.
why bother?
Yeah. No, that's a very good point.
Make the space for what you want to bring into your life.
And I don't, I'm biased, but I don't think any of this is woo. We're big fans of that here. And specifically just like managing our energy for the capacity that we have. And a lot of this we can really apply there. And I love that. That's so huge.
I think it's great. It can feel really grounded. If you want it to feel woo and magical, you can go that route. I mean,
Yeah.
you can add rocks and crystals in beautiful spaces. Feng Shui doesn't has roots in Taoism, but there's no religious beliefs connected to it. And what I love to work with my clients is whatever their belief, whether they're really woo, spiritual, or whatever their religious practice might be, I can look at their home and tell them certain areas that might here place a statue of whatever in this space. It's a beautiful,
Right.
meaningful space to honor it, right? So we can be really mindful when we're placing little cues in our home to
Yeah.
remind us of what's important in life. So I really love doing that.
That's really special too. Well, thank you so much for talking with us today. I really appreciate it. Are there any other things that you would like to let our listeners know?
Oh my gosh.
I know it's the loaded question.
I mean, we talked about so many fun things. We
We
shared about my
did.
book. I do have my podcast called Feng Shui Living,
Yes.
and they're quick 20-minute episodes of go home and do this weekend.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. And we'll make
Yeah.
sure to give all of our listeners the link and our promo codes here for your Aligned at Home Collective membership trial. And so we'll make
Yeah.
sure to give everyone all the things. But thanks so much for joining
Thank you
us
so
today.
much. I think we could talk all day.
I think so too. It's hard to have that vibe with someone, but we knew this would be good. So
Yeah.
not a bad thing. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.